In today's video, I'm going to reveal 3 common bathroom habits that could quietly increase your risk of bladder cancer after age 60. These aren't rare or unusual behaviors, in fact. They're things many of us do without even thinking. But over time, they can make a big difference. Did you know that bladder cancer is the 4th most common cancer in men and affects thousands of women over 65 every year? According to the National Cancer Institute, more than 82,000 new cases are diagnosed annually in the U.S. alone, many of which could have been caught earlier with simple awareness. So, what makes this cancer so dangerous? Bladder cancer often develops silently, with few noticeable symptoms in the beginning, and by the time it's detected, it's sometimes already progressed to a more advanced stage. But here's the good news. Researchers from Harvard Health and the National Institute on Aging agree certain daily habits can make a real difference in lowering your risk. If you care about staying strong, sharp, and independent through your golden years, this is one video you don't want to miss. Before I dive in, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Golden Aging Health, your trusted space for science-backed wellness tips for seniors. Now, let's get started with the first habitone that might seem harmless, but skipping it could quietly increase your risk of bladder cancer over time. Habit number 1. Holding your urine too long. You might say, I just wait until I'm more comfortable, or it's not urgent yet. But here's the truth. Regularly delaying urination can actually cause chronic irritation to the bladder lining, especially in older adults whose bladder elasticity has already decreased. According to the Mayo Clinic, the bladder is like a balloon. It stretches when it's full and contracts when emptied. But if you're constantly forcing it to overstretch by holding urine, the bladder wall weakens, and over time, this causes inflammation, urinary retention, and potential exposure to concentrated toxins in the urine. A 2022 study from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that seniors who consistently delayed bathroom visits had a 34% higher rate of urinary tract inflammation, which can trigger cellular changes linked to bladder cancer. Let me tell you about Jim. He's 73 now, retired, and spent most of his life as a long-haul trucker based in Ohio. Every day for decades, Jim drove cross-country, sticking to tight delivery schedules. Bathroom breaks? Not a priority. He'd often hold it for hours, just part of the job, he thought. But after retiring, things began to change. Jim started feeling a burning sensation after peeing. Then came frequent urges, even when his bladder wasn't full. He figured it was just aging until a routine checkup revealed the truth: early-stage bladder cancer. His urologist explained something simple but powerful. By regularly holding in urine, Jim had been allowing waste products like urea and other chemical irritants to sit in his bladder for extended periods. This prolonged exposure can irritate the bladder lining, leading to inflammation and eventually DNA damage in the urothelial cells. In fact, a study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that chronic bladder irritation in older adults was associated with a 2.4 times higher risk of abnormal cellular changes that can lead to bladder cancer. For Jim, those years of ignoring the urge to go may have silently contributed to that risk. So, what's the best habit? Go when your body tells you, even if it feels inconvenient. Most urologists recommend emptying your bladder every 3 to 4 hours and never holding it longer than 6. If you're taking medications like diuretics or have conditions like BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia, you may need to go more often, and that's okay. Bonus tip: if you're worried about getting up at night to urinate, try reducing fluid intake after 8 p.m., but never stop drinking water during the day. Dehydration makes your urine more acidic and concentrated, which is another risk factor. Do you ever find yourself ignoring the urge to go maybe when you're running errands or out in public? What helps you stay mindful about this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. In the next section, I'll explain how a common bathroom routine could be quietly irritating your bladder lining and the simple swaps you can make to protect it. You won't want to miss this. Habit number 2. Using harsh chemical cleaners or scented wipes. You like things clean and fresh. It's just part of your routine. A quick swipe with a lavender-scented wipe, a spritz of floral air freshener, maybe even a deep clean toilet gel with a Mountain Breeze label. It smells good, so it must be safe, right? In a review published by Harvard Health, experts emphasized that older adults have heightened sensitivity to chemical irritants, especially postmenopausal women due to hormonal shifts that thin the protective lining of the urinary tract. Meanwhile, researchers at Mayo Clinic found that certain bathroom products, especially those marketed as antibacterial or fragranced, can disrupt the skin's pH balance and provoke inflammatory responses in adjacent organs, including the bladder. Not long ago, I spoke with Linda, a 67-year-old retired school teacher from Arizona, though. She had always taken pride in her hygiene and her home. Every morning, like clockwork, she wiped down the bathroom, freshened up with a scented feminine wipe, and went about her day. It just made me feel cleaner, she told me. I never thought twice about it. But over time, something started to feel off. She began experiencing sudden urges to urinate even when her bladder was nearly empty. Then came the burning sensation, the nighttime interruptions, and a persistent feeling of discomfort she couldn't shake. Linda assumed it was just part of aging, maybe even menopause. Her doctor initially thought it was an overactive bladder until they dug deeper. After a full urological workup, her physician asked a surprising question. Have you been using any fragranced hygiene or cleaning products near the urinary area? Linda's diagnosis? Chronic chemical cystitis, type of bladder inflammation caused by repeated exposure to irritants. And here's the alarming part. Studies show that prolonged bladder inflammation can raise the risk of squamous cell carcinoma of the bladder, a rare but aggressive cancer type. The culprit? Those scented wipes and chemical toilet cleaners she had used for years. They contained compounds like methylisothiazolinone and quaternary ammonium compounds, common ingredients in cleaning agents that are known skin and mucosal irritants. Don't worry, small changes can make a big difference. Here's where to begin. Switch to fragrance-free, dermatologist-tested products, especially anything used around sensitive areas. Use plain, unscented toilet paper, and avoid wipes with synthetic fragrance, preservatives, or alcohol. Be cautious with toilet cleaners. Ventilate well, and wait several minutes before using the seat after cleaning. And if you're experiencing persistent urgency, discomfort, or recurring infections, bring up chemical cystitis with your urologist. Most people don't, even though it's more common than you might think. Keep watching to discover more everyday habits that could quietly impact your bladder health, especially as you age. And if you know someone who's been struggling with frequent bathroom trips or unexplained discomfort, share this video with them. One simple change today could save them from years of silent suffering tomorrow. The final habit might feel like a normal part of your daily routine, but behind the comfort, it could be silently irritating your bladder and disguising early signs of a more serious urinary issue. Habit number 3. Drinking too many diuretic drinks that trigger frequent urination. For many of us, that first warm cup of coffee in the morning feels like a little ritual, a comforting start to the day. But here's something most people don't realize, especially as we age. When coffee becomes our first and sometimes only morning drink, and we forget to follow it with water, we may be setting ourselves up for dehydration and bladder trouble without even knowing it. Coffee, black tea, Energy drinks, soda, even some health drinks marketed to older adults all have one thing in common. They act as diuretics. That means they increase urine production, which can lead to frequent trips to the bathroom, fluid imbalance, and overconcentration of waste in your bladder. At first, that might not sound like a big deal, but over time, this caffeine dehydration cycle can stress your bladder, cause inflammation, and even mask early warning signs of bladder issues. According to the National Institute on Aging, caffeine not only irritates the bladder lining, but can also worsen symptoms like urgency, frequency, and incontinence, especially in people over 65, whose kidney function and fluid regulation are naturally declining. In one study published in the Journal of Urology, older adults who consume more than 250 milligrams of caffeine per day, that's about 2 to 3 cups of coffee, had a 72% higher chance of reporting bladder overactivity symptoms compared to those who drank less. Eleanor, a 70-year-old grandmother from North Carolina, she loved her morning coffee 2 big mugs before breakfast, then a glass of iced tea with lunch. But recently, Eleanor was rushing to the bathroom more often, especially in the late morning. A few times, she didn't quite make it in time. That feeling of urgency became a new kind of stress zone that made her hesitate to run errands or even go for walks around the block like she used to. During a routine checkup, her nurse practitioner asked a simple question: "How much caffeine are you drinking in a day?" Eleanor hadn't really thought about it, but when she added it all up, it came to nearly 300 milligrams, well over the recommended limit for older adults. The nurse explained that as we age, our bladders become more sensitive, and our kidneys less efficient at processing fluids, so the same amount of caffeine that felt fine at 45 can create real problems after 65. Even more so if it's not balanced with water throughout the day. Eleanor's experience isn't unique, and it turns out there's science to back up exactly what she went through. According to a study published in the Journal of Urology, adults over 65 who consume more than 250 milligrams of caffeine daily are significantly more likely, by as much as 72%, to experience bladder overactivity, including urgency, frequency, and even leakage. Wondering how to keep your bladder happy without giving up your favorite drinks? Limit caffeine to under 200 milligrams per day, unless otherwise advised by your doctor. That's usually 1 regular cup of coffee. Drink plenty of water, at least 6 to 8 cups daily. Spread it out across the day, and don't wait until you feel thirsty. Try herbal alternatives like chamomile or rooibos tea, which are soothing and naturally caffeine-free. And remember, dehydration can make your urine darker and more acidic, which also increases bladder irritation. Still starting your day with coffee or tea without a second thought? Drop the word tea in the comments if that's part of your daily routine. Your story could help someone else realize that what feels like a comforting habit might actually be irritating their bladder more than they think. Let's take a moment to review the 3 daily bathroom habits doctors recommend avoiding to protect your bladder and lower your risk of bladder cancer after 60. Holding in urine for long periods, using scented wipes or harsh cleaners, drinking too many diuretic drinks that trigger frequent urination. These might sound like ordinary, harmless routines, but over time, they can quietly inflame the bladder, disrupt your body's signals, and increase your risk of developing serious conditions like chronic cystitis or even bladder cancer. The best part? You don't need a prescription to make a change. Just a few simple swaps: more water, gentler products, and better bathroom habits can help protect your bladder, support your energy, and even help you avoid unnecessary doctor visits. Did this video help you feel more informed? Tap the like button and subscribe to Golden Aging Health for more science-backed health tips created especially for adults over 60. And please share this video with a friend, neighbor, or loved one. One small change today could help them avoid big problems tomorrow. Want to stay proactive about your health? Check out our Cancer in the Aging Body playlist, linked below in the description. It's full of practical insights to help you take control of your well-being one smart habit at a time. Thanks for spending part of your day with me. Take care of your health, stay proactive, and we'll see you in the next video.